Hello everybody, Chad at Red Tone Studio here. I'm back again with another guitar type video. Hope you enjoy these. Let me know in the comments. I have a H1215 Harmony. These were built back in the 60s, 50s, 60s. It's an archtop guitar, as you can see. Didn't have my camera set up right, so I lost all the recordings for this first half, so we're doing it again halfway through the build. I won't keep you long, and we'll jump into the shop and we'll go have a look at what I've done so far. But mainly, it's got a bit of a crack here in the top. The neck needed a reset. It was coming off here at the bottom of the heel. The string height was about a ½ inch or more. I didn't measure it, but it was bad. Unplayable. You could tune it up and play an E, as long as you stayed in the top 2 frets, it wasn't so bad. But as soon as you played a D or a G up the fretboard, it was terrible. Wouldn't stay in tune. Speaking of tune, the tuners are completely shot. I've got one really bent one that hits the side of the headstock. So these are getting replaced. I've got some new ones coming, so this is not the last time you'll see me. Other than that, a few cracks, you'll see. But needs a little bit of cleaning. As you can see, I've glued her up already. I'm really tempted to put some strings on here, but I'm gonna wait for those tuners. Also, for the bridge, it does finally come apart. There are some threads on these little studs, or some circles around the holes, so this used to be adjustable. When I got it, it was completely down flush. And judging by where everything's sitting, that's kind of probably where it's still going to be. I don't think there's any reason to get some nuts or whatever and put those back in, because it's just going to be too high again. But other than that, we'll see how she goes. So let's jump out to the shop. So here I am heating up the neck, or the heel of the neck, with my heat gun. This is probably not the best way to do it. Most would say you should use some steam or maybe an iron, but I don't have either one of those. So today I'm heating it up with a heat gun. We'll see how that works. I've got 2 2x4s holding the body up underneath that towel. You see I have my trusty claw hammer, which is totally the right tool for the job, just like my heat gun, and a little block of wood that I'll use to hit that off with. So it's getting pretty hot now, but patience is key. Let's give her a try. No movement yet. Let's put some more heat on her. I'm trying to go slow here so that I don't warp the paint or have it flake off or catch fire. This could be nitro finish. Who knows? Living life on the wild side. Oh yeah, pretty hot now. Let's give her another try. Might as well get aggressive with it. It's a cheap guitar given to me for free. I think I've got it moving here. Taking a little bit extra room. Then we'll pound it the rest of the way off. There she goes. Got a little bit of a broken piece there on the heel. Not a big deal. Probably can glue that back in if I found that piece, which I didn't. It's stuck there in the base of the guitar. I have to grab my chisel to chisel that little piece out of there, clean it up, get all the glue out of it. Boy, that claw hammer comes in handy. There's that piece. Matches up perfectly on the heel. I'm going to lose that later, so pay no attention. There was a lot of glue here in this body. The teal didn't actually touch the end plate or the cap or whatever you call it. So there was a lot of room for glue just sitting there and dry. And honestly, the heat probably didn't do anything. That glue was still rock hard. Doing a test fit here. Make sure I got enough glue out of there to get the neck to slide on nice and easy. Very wiggly now. You can see definitely why it had pulled away. So I'm going to get some shims put in there to make it so it's nice and tight, and then I'll be gluing it up, and you'll see that process here coming up. All right, here we go. I found some business cards. Oh, they happen to have my logo on them. So the next person who takes this apart in about 50 years might know who did the repair. Probably be cussing me because I put so much glue on it. But anyways, I felt that one business card just wasn't enough, so 2 on each side, make it nice and even. It didn't quite drop all the way in the hole until I had a little bit of persuasion on it. I wanted to make sure that the neck was much straighter and the strings were going to be lower, so I found myself a straight edge. And then using my trusty claw hammer again, I was able to get the neck fully seated. And I felt that the string height was going to be at least playable, way better than it was before. We'll see what the final product brings, but I think this is a good point to start. So, getting the neck off, getting ready for the glue up. Speaking of glue up, we're using Tight Bond 2 wood glue. This is a great glue for just building guitars in general. Making sure I got it all over the place. I've got some glue on the fingerboard, on both sides of my business cards. Got that little extra piece glued back in, the one I found anyways. Can't use too much glue. All right, getting ready for some push out. Got my handy dandy clamp, pushing from the top, clamping her down. Not worrying too much if I scratch this body, it's scratched up as it is. Then I've got my tie strap, so I'm going to take that all the way around the body here. I needed about 3-4 hands to get this done, but eventually I got there. I'm going to hold that heel up against the body the best I can so it doesn't move. Shouldn't be an issue with those business cards. And then one final clamp to hold that fingerboard down to the body. All right, welcome back. As you see, I took it out of the clamps, and I think it turned out pretty good. Oh yeah, I think she'll be ready to go. Got a little bit of glue here on the top I probably could clean up eventually. But right now we're going to work on these tuners. Definitely need to go. If you look on the back, I'll show some close-ups. But they are wore out even on the back. Even if it weren't for this bent tuner, we definitely need to get these changed out because they are bad. So we'll do that. I've got some rusty old screws and a flathead screwdriver. We'll need to get those out. So we'll do that now. All right, here are the new ones that I've got. Came from StuMac via Amazon. I'll put the link down below so you can have a look if you want to get them yourselves. Yeah, drop right in. The outside screw holes match up pretty close. Inside screw holes, not really. So I think I'll just do the outside ones because I don't care that much. Eventually maybe I'll drill them out and put all 4 in. We'll see. Oh, now we need Phillips. Back in the 60s, they didn't have Phillips apparently. He wasn't born yet. There we go. 2 in of each. Hard to see that, I'm sure. Looks pretty good. Way more shiny. So now, let's get her strung up. I am putting on these regular slinkies. Custom gauge, nickel wound, 10 to 46. Wound G, so they're not really acoustic strings, maybe. But that's about all I had. I could have put my 13s on that I play on my D28, but I felt that that was probably a little overkill, a little bit too much tension. So we'll go with these. All right, here I am. Start with the thick one, 46. Might help, of course, if I had the bridge on. So I'm not going to glue the bridge on just yet. I'm just going to drop it in, put it where it was based on the glue marks. If I like where it is and the intonation is correct, then maybe I'll glue it back on. But for now, it's just going to be a floating bridge. I'm going to tune her to E flat. Not as much tension, and that's where I play, so we'll try that. 36. $26. Sounding good already. 17. Not wound. Thought it was going to be wound. 13. So I'm putting these little strings on. I think I should have gone with the 13 mediums. If this holds up for a few weeks, maybe we'll do that. Five on and tuned up. Neck hasn't moved. Last one, 10s. There we go, all strung up. Let's get her tuned up and see how she sounds. It's going to take a little bit for these strings to break in, but otherwise I think it's quite playable. A D and a C actually sound like D's and C's, so that was good. String height, we'll show some after pictures, but string height is very good. I don't know if I can measure it. String height at the 12th fret. 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. On the big E, 0.239, so 0.24. 0.2, so under a quarter inch on both. I'm happy with it. it is what it is. It was free. It makes sound now. It's gonna hold together. I'm definitely gonna try some 13s on here because I think that'll drive this top. These are all birch. All these lines that you see on here, that's just faux wood grain. You can see the actual wood grain running through. So apparently they're all birch, painted on wood grain, heavily braced so that they wouldn't break back in the 60s. Didn't work out great. So I think that's gonna need as much string tension as possible to get it to sound decent, but then also not pull the neck off. So we'll see. Maybe once these strings break in, it might be all right. I'm just glad it's playable. All right, so if you liked what you saw today, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you think I was shy to do with this. If you got a pick guard you can just send me, I'd love to have it just to complete it. I was thinking maybe put a pickup on it. Might be a cool sounding guitar as well. We'll see. It's got a good feel to it, nice and light. It has a chonky neck on it, so it probably is not going to move any, which is good. And I've got big hands, so I don't mind the neck size. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.